Hey, viewer, it is your Royal Majesty, the CDI Queen, and the CDI Princess making lots of happy noises. Pardon that. In case you missed my live stream yesterday, it was not live stream gaming. I'm not going to be able to do that for a while, and this is not my official comeback. I'm still in the midst of baby world, and that is not going to be changing anytime soon. However, I was talking about, like the entire gaming world is right now, the Ocarina of Time reboot. In case you didn't know it, Nintendo released a very, very small teaser trailer showing that the Ocarina of Time, the beloved Nintendo 64 classic, will be coming back completely made anew in 2026. Hopefully they make good on that, which is pretty cool to get the game the same, sorry baby dropping toys, the same year that it is announced. Obviously there's a lot of hoopla about it, and some is good, some is bad, some is in the middle of the road, and I just want to give you my thoughts on it. My general thoughts are, it's going to be fine. It's going to be good. Don't know if it's going to be great. It probably is going to be great. But I know it's at least going to be good. And the reason why we know that is because Nintendo has been reliably making good content, even in this modern era where a lot of companies that used to make good stuff don't make very good stuff anymore. So Nintendo cares more about their product and their, well, sales, but players equals sales, than their ulterior motives or their message or their whatever. Like, it's very clear from what they've done the last decade or so that they are making good products. So why would it change now? Why would it change suddenly? Why would they just suddenly start making bad games when it comes down to remastering, rebooting one of the most iconic, legendary, important, pivotal, nostalgic games in the entire Nintendo franchise? It wouldn't. So calm down. It's going to be fine. A lot of people are talking about the graphics, whether it's good or bad, but look, it's a teaser trailer. That's a cinematic opening. Throw it out. It's not gameplay. We can't say anything about gameplay until we see a little bit more of gameplay. So don't even worry about that right now. Another thing people are concerned about is dumping on the nostalgia. So you're going to see people getting upset because they think this is tarnishing an original that's very important to our nostalgic hearts. And in a way I can see being worried about that, but I don't think it's anything to worry about because both can exist. You can have the original one, and you can have a reboot that is very good, and it doesn't take away your experience. And, oh, but you're gonna have a younger generation of gamers that didn't play the original one, and they're going to just play the new one and think that that's fine. Let that be their thing. I mean, your parents didn't know that these Nintendo games are going to be important for you, so just calm down. Me personally, myself, I would like my daughter to try the original one first, just because, the nostalgia. But just because, I don't know, I think it's good to play older games. It's good to not always be living in the future. It's cool to, I mean, look at me. All I ever do is play old games. So, again, nothing to worry about. Calm down about that. It's going to be fine. People all have their thing and their game, and it doesn't take away your experience. And even if it's terrible, let's say it's terrible. Even if it's terrible, it doesn't change your experience with it. So shut up. Humbly, I say shut up. It's too early on to dump on it, but it is early on enough to get excited about it. Now, I will say what I'm not excited about is that it looks like they might still be sticking with the voice acting, and I'm not a fan of that. I did not like the voice acting in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't like the Zelda voice. I feel like half of the aesthetic attached to Zelda games is that there is no voices, so it's kind of quiet. I don't know, maybe they're just having a narration that's in an opening sequence to lead us on into... Sorry, baby's being weird. To lead us on into thinking it's going to be full cast. Again, it's a little too early to tell, but I do think there's going to at least be narrating in the cinematic sequences, and I'm not terribly excited about that. But be that as it may, obviously, if they're doing it, it is working to a certain degree, and a lot of people like it, so it is what it is. Let's just hope for people like me that don't like it, there's a way to toggle it off, or at least toggle it in Japanese, because as we all know, everything sounds better when it's in the Japanese, or at least in the original language that it was made in. Yeah, so people that are saying it's going to be a bad game, this is, again, way too early on to be able to judge, but I have found that Zelda games being good or bad is a very divisive and opinionated subject. I've done a little bit of research on this, and it turns out that no Zelda game has actually lost money. We are not including the CDI games, although I don't think the CDI games actually lost money. They just did not make the money that they expected for having a Nintendo licensed character. Don't quote me on that. I did not go that deep on that because this is a topic that's not talking about CDI games. This is only talking about the proper canonical Zelda games. And when you break it down, there's 3 categories of Zelda games. And this is important. I'm thinking if I should do a... No, she's farting and probably pooping. I'm thinking if I should do a separate video on this, but since I'm here and you're watching and you made it this far already, I might as well just finish this thought. There's 3 categories of Zelda games, and 1 are the big blockbusters that are the big epic games that they market real well. That's like your Twilight Princess, your Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. They typically go hand in hand with the release of a new system. If you look, that's usually what they do. Back in the day, Nintendo used to have the console and then the handheld game system that went with it. So usually what you would have is that you would have the big blockbuster come out with the console, and then when your handheld one was starting to get out there, there'd be a, what I might call my second category, a companion game. And the companion games, that's like your Minish Cap, your Link Between Worlds, your Echoes of Wisdom, those games. So they're not made to be as big of a deal. You might not see as much advertising for them. A lot of them tend to be 2D or a little bit more like the old school style, like Echoes of Wisdom did. And those games, some of those have not been the biggest, but again, they're not marketed to be the biggest. And they're just these companion games. And like a lot of them, they don't get as much attention. Like Spirit Tracks, and people say Spirit Tracks is a really bad game. I've never played it, but then there's also people that are diehard fans of it that say it's amazing and one of the best Zelda titles out there. Same thing with Skyward Sword. A lot of fans really don't like Skyward Sword. I like Skyward Sword, but I'm also objective about it, and I know that it has a lot of problems, and it's extremely repetitive. But at the same time, it was pioneering technology that was really new, and I think they thought that that motion capture sword thing was going to take off a lot better. And I know Twilight Princess did it too, but the Skyward Sword did it on a different level. And it just never really took off the way that they thought it was going to. So you got to look at it with a technological standpoint, and it makes a little bit more sense why it's so repetitive. And then you have the third category, which are like the non-canonical games or the kind of throwaway games. That's going to be like all of your Hyrule Warriors games, which are amazing, by the way. Although I guess the ones that go with Breath of the Wild are, what is that, Age of Calamity? They are actually a little more canonical than the original Hyrule Warriors. The original Hyrule Warriors is really good. But then you have your Cadence of Hyrule, games like that. I'm going to throw Triforce Heroes in there because that's more of a novelty. Maybe novelty is the better category for that. It's a little bit more of a novelty game, and that one was definitely more of a less popular one. And the reason why I put it in the novelty game is because since a lot of it, and I haven't played it, so I might be putting my foot in my mouth here, but a lot of the gameplay requires 2 players or more, and that is a problem for a lot of us, especially if you're the kind of gamer like me. She's fine. Is antisocial and doesn't have friends and doesn't make friends and doesn't keep friends. It's hard. So, yeah, if you look at it that way, some of these novelty games and some of these companion games are not quite as good, but they didn't need to be. So, again, that's not what this reboot's going to be. This reboot's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be something that probably some executives in Nintendo could say would make or break the future of Nintendo, because if it bombs, it's going to be devastating. And they know that, so relax, calm down, it's gonna be fine. So here's the deal, bottom line. Zelda has not really had a bad game. Nintendo has not really done bad by you. You know, people are critical of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's still a good game and it made a ton of money. Skyward Sword, like I said, a lot of people don't like it. It still is a good game and made a ton of money. And it has a really good soundtrack, by the way. If you forgot how good it was, go listen to it, because it's really, really good. So there's that. Nintendo makes good products reliably. They're not going to steer you wrong. If they were ever going to make a bad game, it was not going to be with Ocarina of Time. So calm down about that. And everything else as far as the game goes, just hold your, reserve your judgment until we have a little bit more of a teaser that includes gameplay. And even then, come on, shut up. They're giving you a remaster of one of the best games ever made. Let's be let's be proper and cordial about it and respect it for what it is. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be great. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm a little concerned about the narrating, a little concerned about the voice acting, a little concerned about the music, because I know Koji Kondo has not done most soundtracks for a little bit on these games, and that makes me nervous because, the music in Ocarina of Time is really important. But again, I put my trust in Nintendo. I don't think they're going to mess it up. So I need to buy a Switch 2 now because I'm gonna need to play this game, and I'm real excited. And I will give you another update on it and how I feel about it after we get some more information. In the meantime, just keep your chin up, and it's gonna be great.